Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Durlabha manusho deho dehinam shana bhangurai tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshinaha Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Śrī Caitanya Ishvaram. Hare Kṛṣṇa, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for your wonderful association on this day of Bahulashtami, or also known as the appearance day of Sri Radha Kunda. So, very, very holy day. It is the day of appearance day of Sri Radha Kunda, which is the holiest of the all holy places. So there is no other holy place than Radha Kund in the whole creation. I was reading one nice verse from this verse says, the delightful forest of Vrindavan, the beautiful Govardhan hill, and the nectarian area of the Rasa dance, what to speak of other places, are not even a single particle of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. Let me take shelter of these two lakes, which are more dear to Lord Krishna than his own life's breath. So Radha Kund is very, very dear to Lord Krishna because Srimati Radharani is so dear to Krishna. Wow. So it is this day where the holy appearance of Sri Radha Kund happened. So I believe we read till text 32 or 31 yesterday. I have to still catch up on the verses, but thank you Sudhir Prabhu, Vipul Prabhu, Nandini Mataji for facilitating, leading the discussion in the last few days where I couldn't join. So we'll read from text 32. Maybe Vipul Prabhu, you want to start?
Yes. Okay. Honorable devotees, Dhamma Pranam, all wish to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 32. Karenu mattaya nokulo naramitram tatharjuna irabantam ulupayam bhai shuttayam babruhu bhavanam munipura pate shopi tat putra putrika shuta. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki joy. Nokul begot a son named Naramitra through his wife named Karanu Mati. Similarly, Arjun begot a son named Iravan through his wife known as Ulupi, and the daughter of the Nagas, and the son named Babru Bahana by the womb of the princess of Manipura. Babru Bahana became the adopted son of the king of Manipura. Purport: it is to be understood that Parvati is the daughter of the king of a very, very old mountainous country known as Manipur state. 5,000 years ago, therefore, when the Pandavas ruled, Manipur existed, as did its king. Therefore, this kingdom is very old, aristocratic Vaishnava kingdom. If this kingdom is organized as a Vaishnava state, this revitalization will be a great success, because for the 5,000 years this state has maintained its identity. If the Vaishnava spirit is revived there, it will be a wonderful place, renowned throughout the entire world. Manipuri Vaishnavas are very famous in Vaishnava society. In Vrindavan and Navadvipa, there are many temples constructed by the king of Manipur. Some of our devotees belong to the Manipur state. The Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, can be well spread in the state of the Manipura by the cooperative efforts of the Krishna and conscious devotee. So, this verse started with the other names of the Pandavas' children. Here is Nakula's children and original other children also told. Along with the son, who is the Bhabruvana, by the womb of the prince of Manipura through Arjun. So that Manipura state, as Prabhupada is telling, that is still existing there in India as a separate state, and there is a Vaishnava culture 5,000 years back. And these states, the other states, has their geographic identity or area redefined, but it is still there. And if we revitalize the Vaishnava culture there and represent the whole world, so it will help us to spread out our Vaishnava culture and religion all over the world. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji. So as Prabhupada is mentioning that this is one of the few states they have retained their Vaishnava culture. Earlier, the whole world was following Sanatana Dharma. I was reading about Radhakund and the holy places surrounding Radhakund. In that, there is Samadhi of His Holiness Bhakti Damodar Swami Maharaj as well. Bhakti Swarup Samodar Maharaj, Prabhupada disciple, who had many disciples from Manipur state. In fact, he also belonged from there, and he was very a stalwart in the scientific region. Narottam Thakur had many disciples from that Manipur and northeastern states. So it's a great blessing that they are in Mayapur, in programs. A lot of Manipur devotees, they perform their dance, like Manipuri dance is actually also one of the Vaishnava dances. Whether all the dances, Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, etc., they are all originating from the Sanatana Dharma as an expression, as in gratitude, as an offering to please Krishna. Dance is also a great offering to please Krishna. As Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yat juhosi, yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, juhosi, dadasi, yat. Whatever you do, it is an offering to me. So dance can be certainly as an offering to Krishna if it is done with that devotion, that mood, that sentiment, that I am dancing for the pleasure of the Lord. Therefore, our kirtans are full of chanting, dancing. But the same dance can be for the pleasure of sense gratification, to allure opposite sex, etc., which happens in discos, pubs, casinos, and whatnot. So Prabhupada is here appreciating that Manipur culture and the Vaishnava spirit. And ultimately, it's our spirit to, by the cooperative efforts, very nicely, the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, I'm repeating the last line, can be well spread in the state of Manipur, and for that matter, any state, by the cooperative efforts of Krishna conscious devotees. So we can meditate upon this line, whether it is Alachua or Tampa or Fort Myers or New York or Faridabad, Delhi, Bombay, Chicago, any city, any country, any place. The Krishna consciousness movement can be well spread by the cooperative efforts of devotees. It's a line to meditate upon. When we come together, the 1 + 1 becomes 11. It's not 1 + 1, 2. Unity is, there is a lot of power in unity. United we stand, divided we fall. So Prabhupada is encouraging the cooperative efforts. So, and we see that if one person is doing something, it will not be able to cause, unless one is like Prabhupada, one cannot cause a big impact. But if 5 people are there, it will be a big impact. 50 people are there, it will be a bigger impact. So cooperation is very much essential, as Prabhupada is mentioning here. So basically, Nakula's Nakula's son, Nara Mitra. And then Arjuna's son. So how is the connection to Manipur? A son named Babruvana. So Arjuna got a son, Iravan, through his wife, Pulupi. So basically, Arjuna got a son named Babruvana. This is Arjuna's son from the Manipur princess. And that's the connection to Manipur. Okay, text 33. Dear Prabhu, want to read?
Yeah, sure. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dynasty and Parikshit. Prabhuji, I was also thinking when you mentioned about Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swami Maharaj. Maharaj is from, of course, Manipur, but Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles, and that's where he got initiated. And he was actually Guru Maharaj of Suresh Prabhu, who started Bhakti Vriksha in Tampa exactly 10 years ago. I just wanted to, I remember that. Thank you. Okay. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, and text number 33. Tava tata subhadrayam abhimanyur ajeyata sarvatirtha vichyatvira uttarayam tato bhavan. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. My dear King Parikshit, your father Abhimanyu was born from the womb of Subhadra as the son of Arjuna. He was the conqueror of all the Arithas, those who could fight with 1,000 charioteers. From him, by the womb of Uttara, the daughter of Viraj Raja, you were born. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. Here, Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj, I think he's telling Parikshit Maharaj that your father Abhimanyu was born from Subhadra Maharani, who is sister of Lord Krishna and Balarama. As the son of Subhadra and Arjuna, you were born, and he's the conqueror of all the Arithra. So it is like one who could fight with 1,000 charities at the same time. So such a great personality was Arjuna. And from him, by the womb of Uttara, like Abhimanyu and Uttara, King Parikshit was born. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Atiratha, in the war, there were designations like Ardharathi, Atirathi, Sahasrarathi, etc. Like how many warriors or how many charioteers is this warrior capable of fighting? Half a charioteer, one charioteer, 10 charioteers, or 1,000 charioteers. That's how the designations were given. So this was the designation given to Abhimanyu. And we know how bravely he fought. And in the Mahabharata war, he didn't know how to come out of the Chakravyuh by the Kauravas, but yet he entered to save his to protect the Pandavas and the Pandava side. He entered the war and he fought very, very bravely. And and then Sri Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning that you were born. So basically, you here is Parikshit Maharaj, because like a one-to-one conversation there. Where is this conversation happening?
Namasharnam.
Prabhu is in the bank of Ganges.
bank of Ganges, Naimisharanya, anyone else? The Naimisharanya was the place where Srila Sutta Goswami spoke to the 10,000 rishis. So this conversation is happening at isn't it Shuktal, close to Delhi, or the northern part? I'll have to double check that. Nandini Mataji is present. Ravi Prabhu, is it, we're in banks of Ganges because Ganges is like too broad. Do you remember the exact?
Is close to Haridwar, close to Delhi.
Haridwar area, yeah. So that's correct because from Hastinapur he was coming. Nimataji, you want to add?
No, Prabhu, good. I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect. Actually, that's interesting since you're talking about it. Oh, I was recently hearing a lecture and this is coming as a savior. So this happened at Shuktal. This place is near Muzaffarnagar. Currently, there's a place near. Actually, you're right. It's near Haridwar, about 2 hours away from Haridwar, maybe 1 or 2 hours. So near Muzaffarnagar, this place called Shuktal is present, where this conversation happened. And there were other Bhagavatams also. I was hearing this class, so I'll share that. So Uddhava also spoke to gopis. Anyone remembers where he spoke Bhagavatam to the gopis, Uddhava?
In Vrindavan, right?
Vrindavan, close. It's at Govardhan. So if you go to Govardhan Parikrama, this place, you can see that.
Yeah, they actually, when we went to Parikrama, they showed me that there was a small lab also, the water, the small. They showed
Yes.
that right there.
Wonderful. There's a small temple there. This is right near Kusum Sarovar. Yes. So then 4 Kumaras also spoke to Narada and others. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, headed by like Sanak Kumara, Sanak Sanatan, the 4 Kumaras. Any guesses where this happened? This also happened near Haridwar. There's an ashram called Saptarishi Ashram. This conversation happened there. And then Sutta Goswami spoke to Shaunak Adi Rishi. Shaunak was the main spokesperson, and there were 10,000 more other rishis present there. And actually, talking about Satyavrat Muni, you were asking Prabhu the other day. So Satyavrat Muni was also present at this location. At this location in Naimisharanya. And this is near Lucknow, the present day Lucknow. All these places we can go if we want. When we go to holy places, we can certainly go. And of course, Lord Shiva also spoke to Parvati, the Bhagavatam. And of course, our dear Srila Prabhupada gave Bhagavatam to the whole world. So just thought to share this.
There is one more actually recitation was Bhagavatam done. Gokarna, he spoke to his brother who was I don't remember.
Dandukari.
Exactly. Dandukari, yes.
When did that happen?
I think Gokarna is a place, right, Prabhuji? Even now it is one of the holy places. People go and visit that.
Nashik.
Yeah, this was at the banks of Tungabhadra River, where this Brahmana named Atmadev used to live.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite stories. So this was near this kind of the little south or southwest.
Southern, almost southernmost.
Yeah. Tungabhadra River near.
It's very near to our place actually.
Very well. That's wonderful. Okay, and these are just few of the unlimited times Bhagavatam has spoken, of course. Every in all the spiritual planets and in all these so many places, thousands. I mean, we're just talking about some of the main highlights, but it's not that these were the only 5 times Bhagavatam. Practically, in ISKCON itself, Bhagavatam class never stops. Just think about it, right? The Bhagavatam club. I'm not even talking about the smaller groups like ours, very tiny group. Even if there are like 700 temples distributed across different time zones. So practically our Bhagavatam class is always going on. And this is all glories to Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. That and he was asked, why do you want to go to, why have you come to US? He said, I have not come. Bhagavatam has come. I'm just a carrier. That was his love towards Bhagavatam. And this is the Bhagavatam which Parikshit Maharaj is hearing. It's the Bhagavatam which great souls. So Prabhupada spoke to all of us in the age of Kali Yuga through his books. Yes, this is the glory of Srila Prabhupada and the Bhagavatam. So just thought to share that. Okay.
Prabhuji, you said 4 Kumaras. Where was that, Prabhuji? You said
Yeah, that was
near Haridwar. Who spoke to 4 Kumar? Narada Muni, Prabhuji?
No, 4 Kumaras spoke to Narada Muni and others.
Okay, thank you.
So like when Parikshit was hearing, of course, there were thousands of other rishis and great personalities, including Narada, Vyasa, etc. So they shared on Facebook that this event is happening. So everyone came with their transcendental internet. So, okay, you can read next verse. Yes, Prabir, Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Parikṣṇeshu kurushu draunar brahmastra tejasa tam cha Krishna anubhavena sanjiva mochita antakat. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Translation. After the Kuru dynasty was annihilated in the battle of Kurukshetra, you also were about to be destroyed by the Brahmastra, atomic weapon released by the son of Dronacharya, but by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, you were saved from death. So we know that the end of the Kurukshetra, Ashwatthama, he sent the Brahmastra to kill Parikshit Maharaj, who was in the womb of Mother Uttara. And Mother Uttara called for Krishna's help, and Krishna came and helped him. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you, please.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing this wonderful verse. This is Shukdev Goswami is reminding that how Parikshit Maharaj was saved from the Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Then Mata Uttara said this famous verse, Pahi Pahi, Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvad Abhayam Pashyayatra Mrityu Parasparam. When death is front face to face, Parasparam, then only Krishna can save. She didn't approach the victorious Pandavas. She didn't approach any other warriors who were still present. She didn't approach anyone else but the Supreme Personality, Lord Damodara, Lord Keshava. So it's a great lesson that Krishna always protects his devotee. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Even in the womb, from the biggest dangers. So, very nice verse to meditate upon. And as soon as Parikshit had darshan of the Supreme Lord in the womb. So why his name was Parikshit? Because when he came out, he was doing pariksha. Pariksha is analysis or check. Who is that person who is like the Supreme Lord? Is there anyone? So he was always searching or looking for that Supreme Lord, always hankering for that Supreme Lord, always trying to see that Supreme Lord. Therefore, his name is Parikshit. Okay, let's read text 35. Anyone wants to read this wonderful verse? Lakshay, Prabhu, please.
Yes, Guruji. Tava me tanayastata janame jaya purvaka shruta seno bimeshena ugrashena cha vidyavan. Translation: My dear king, your 4 sons, Janamija, Jaya, Shutasena, Bhimeshana, and Ugrashana are very powerful. Janamajaya is the eldest. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So quite straightforward. This is the 4 sons of Maharaj Parikshit. Janmejayastvam viditva takshan nidhanam gatam sarpan vai sarpai yagagnau sahoshyati rushan vitaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, Śrī Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Because of your death by the Takshak snake, your son Janmejaya will be very angry and will perform a sacrifice to kill all the snakes in the world. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So the eldest son. Now this is a very interesting point here because the tense has changed if you observe. So until this point, all these things had happened. The 4 sons were there, the Pandavas were there, their ancestors and their forefathers were all there in the past, pretty much the things which had happened in the past. But text 36 will be very angry. That means this is going to come. So we know Bhagavatam has 12 cantos, out of which 10th canto is the biggest canto. So at this point, we can say the Bhagavatam is about 60% done, approximately. So close to 60% done. So that means we can say out of the 7 days, the 4th day is kind of over. So 3 more days. So this thing which Shukadeva Goswami is speaking will happen after 3 days. It's not yet happened, or after his Parikshit's death. So the great souls know past, present, and future. The great souls know everything. They are not ordinary jivas. For an ordinary jiva to tell, Lakshay, what did you eat 3 weeks back in lunch? Can you tell? On Thursday, 2 weeks back, what did you eat in lunch? Right? It's for anyone, it's difficult. I also don't know. I mean, for us, it's so difficult to remember what 3 weeks back on Thursday or at 4:24 p.m. what was I doing 3 days back? I'll have to really think a lot. What was I doing at 4:24 p.m. 3 days back? But Shukadeva Goswami is telling that he will be doing this yajna. And he'll be very angry because Takshak will be the cause of death, and so we can appreciate the greatness of these wonderful personalities. And this knowledge is apurusha. It's not spoken by ordinary person. Some people say, well, someone wrote Bhagavatam, someone wrote this, someone wrote Bhagavad Gita. But they're not just someone. They are not someone. They are free from all the 4 defects. Anyone remembers the 4 defects? Human defects? Which?
Illusion.
To be illusion. Yes.
Memory, right? Prabhuji?
Memory, yeah, kind of, yeah. Cheating propensity.
Yeah, cheating.
Cheating propensity.
Illusion.
Senses are imperfect.
Imperfect senses, very important point. Imperfect senses. Therefore, the knowledge also keeps changing. There are revised editions and this edition and that edition. So imperfect senses, tendency to be illusion, tendency to make mistakes, another important one. Tendency to cheat. So how can we get perfect knowledge if someone has those 4 defects? So perfect knowledge can only come from the Shabda Pramar, from the people, from the bona fide Guru Parampara who are free from those 4 defects. This nice verse came in Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta also, that they are free from the 4 defects. Therefore, their knowledge is acceptable. If someone is free from these 4 defects and coming in a bona fide Guru Parampara, they are certainly glorious. That knowledge is apurusha. Therefore, Prabhupada said, I have not written these purports. Prabhupada would read Krishna book again and again and again and again, all the purports. I have not written. Krishna has personally written these. I am just a tiny instrument. Like the wonderful example actually was given by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. So, like a pen. So when we do the signature, who does the signature? The pen does the signature, or the person does the signature? The person. So, but the pen is an instrument, is an important instrument to do that signature. So that we have to be like that instrument in the hands of Guru and Krishna. So like the pen, and then the signature will happen. So we are not the doer. We have to be like the pen. Okay, so any other comments, any thoughts, additions anyone has? So let's see the next verse. Yes, Nandini Mataji, you want to read this verse? Any other Matajis want to read? Sampada Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, text 37. Kalaseyam purodhaya turam turakamedasat samantat prithivim sarvam jitva yakshyati chadvarahi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: after conquering throughout the world and after accepting Tura, the son of Kalasa as his priest, Janamejaya will perform Asvamedha Yagyas, for which he will be known as Turaga Medasat. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for reading. This is again in the future tense, that this will happen. So Tura as his priest, so Tura is his priest, he will perform Ashwamedh Yagya. Janmajay will perform Ashwamedh Yagya. Tura as his priest. Okay, so few things here. So first he will conquer the whole world, right? Number 2, he'll accept Tura as his priest, and using him as the priest or with his help and support, he will perform the third activity, which is Ashwamedh Yagya. So this is going to come later, after Parikshit's departure. For us, of course, it has happened because we're talking about 5,000 years back. But again, at that time when this conversation was happening, this was in the future. Okay, quite straightforward. So we can move on to the next verse. And Ashwamedh Yagya, we know, was performed when they would run the horse, or the horse would go to different territories in different countries, and everyone would either accept defeat or rulership under that king, or they will have to fight that king. So Janmajaya would practically conquer the whole world, and everyone would either submit to it or they will have to fight. And this horse sacrifice was done kind of in after that occasion. So let's see the next verse. Text number 38. Anyone who hasn't got a chance to read, wants to read? Swati Mataji, want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Tantra. Tasya putra sataniko yajnavak vakyatrayam vatan astra jnanam kriya jnanam saunakat param ishyati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The son of Janamejaya, known as Satanika, will learn from Yajnavalkya the three Vedas and the art of performing ritualistic ceremonies. He will also learn the military art from Kripacharya and the transcendental science from the sage Saunaka. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. So this is the grandson of Maharaj Parikshit. So can anyone in the world tell the name of the grandson which has not yet happened? So we will learn this, from whom they will learn, what they will learn. It's not just telling they will get education from the teacher. That's very generic, correct? But telling to that level of specific details should help us understand that this is not some ordinary dialogue, right? This is the unalloyed Apurusha message coming from the Supreme Lord and through his wonderful empowered representatives like Vyasadeva, Shukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, etc. Okay.
So I have a question here. So this is all occurring, or it's predicted to occur after the Mahabharata war, right?
Correct.
And also Krishna came and already went also.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So they are in a different family. It's a good point. We are coming to Krishna's family as well. So then we will start again from Yayati. Yeah. So there are like multiple dynasties like going together. So we are kind of going into one branch fully, and then we'll go into the other branch and go down, and then the other branch, like that. So in the next chapter, we will clarify when we talk about, like, again, Yayati. Does that help?
Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. The sage Shaunaka. So we just read about this sage Shaunaka. In my limited understanding, and with this is the same Shaunaka who was there at Naimisharanya, was the spokesperson who heard from Sutta Goswami. Sutta Goswami was present in this assembly of where Parikshit Maharaj was hearing. So like that, the parampara of the great Bhagavatam continued. Okay, text 39. A great devotee has joined today. Rakesh Prabhu, we are very wonderful and we are very pleased to have your association. You want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Text 39. Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 39. Hare Krishna devotees. Sahasranika tat putras tatast Chaiva Chaivashva Mehaja Shimarkshishnas Tasyapi Nemi Chakrastu Tatsuta. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace as Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The son of Satnika will be Sahasranika, and from him will come the son named Ashwamedha. From Ashwamedha will come Asimakshna, and his son will be Nemishakra. Sorry, Prabhu, from pronunciation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji. So now the dynasty further continues, and these are all future descendants. Shatanika, Sahasranika, Ashwamedha, etc. So this will continue for the next 5-6 verses. The further descendants of Maharaj Parikshit. Anyone has any comments, questions, additions so far?
Prabhu, I just want to share a few thoughts about Radhakund's appearance day.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
So actually, there was a question came out in one of our Sunday lecture by His Grace Mahatma Prabhu, that according to Jiva Goswami, the pastimes of Orishtasura, it happened in month of Chaitra. So we know that just after killing Orishtasura, Radhakund, I don't want to go into detail. So Radhakund appeared because the gopis, Radharani including the gopis, they told Krishna that you killed a cow and so you have to do the atonement. And that's how then came. So they said that this day, month of Kartik, Radhakund actually first, after Krishna's left this world, we know that all the different places in Vrindavan actually they hid actually. Then we know that Mahaprabhu requested Sanatana Goswami, Śrī Rupa Goswami, and before that actually like Mataji was telling, Manjulali Mataji was telling other day that Loknath Goswami, Mahaprabhu sent Loknath Goswami and Bhugarbha Goswami together, and they started. Then Śrī Rupa and Śrī Sanatana Goswami joined with them. And Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan first time in the month of Kartik, and actually he first located the Radhakund. He went to the village named Oridgram, and there was a paddy field with little amount of water. He took bath there, and he said that was the Radhakund. So that this today's Radhakund appearance actually Mahaprabhu first was relocated the Radhakund, but actual Radhakund appearance was month of Chaitra. And also today you'll see in the calendar it says Bahulastami. Bahulaban was actually Krishna named that village was actually first relocated by Krishna. So that is the Radhakund little pastimes. Just want to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And let's take the darshan of the divine pond of Sri Radhakund. Able to see? So this is a very special darshan. At the midnight, we were reading this book of His Holiness Loknath Maharaj or Vrindavan Parikrama. So on the Bahulashtami, or also some people say Ahoy Oshtami, which is the, as Prabhu explained, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovered or rediscovered Radha Kund. So on that day, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of devotees take bath in the holy Radha Kund. There's a festival, and it's amazing because Radha Kund, and it was mentioning, it cannot be expressed in words in a book, the devotion, or through a language. It is a transcendental pond. So we can pray to Sri Radha Kund. It is very, very dear to Krishna because the kunda or pond of Srimati Radharani. So we can certainly pray on this wonderful day of Radha Kund's appearance or reappearance, and so that we can always take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna and be their humble servant in the mode of servant to the servant, and continue to please Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnavas, and perfect our lives and go back home. So this is from a daytime picture. And Radha Kund has so many holy places, so many samadhis, so many bhajan kutirs. It's countless, basically, countless number of holy places just around Radha Kund, Shamakunda itself.
Suppose it was excavated again from paddy field, the whole pond.
Yes, Prabhu. That was excavated by actually Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. He was the main person who excavated the Radha Kund. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sure.
Thank you. Yes, and then he later, there's a very nice story actually in this regard, which we were reading, that Srila Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to expand the size of the kundas so that more and more people can get the mercy. But he, being a sannyasi Goswami, didn't have the resources. So one nice wealthy devotee was going to Badrikashrama to give some charity. And then the Lord told him that you go and give this charity to Sri Raghunath Das Goswami so that he can expand this kundas or these holy places. And the Lord appeared in the dream of Raghunath Das Goswami, so it was like a perfect match. So he accepted that and helped to expand and further develop those two holy places. And in that there are two other stories of how the Pandavas are meditating. So there are like the Panchavriksha, or the Panch Pandavas representing on the Shamakunda, and they were about to cut those trees. So then in the dream came. So you can correct me or if I'm saying it, the details.
Yes, go ahead. It's nice. Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
So he came in the dream that don't cut these trees. So if you see, it's not a regular shape. It's kind of little, like a multi side. It's not like a regular rectangle. Like Radha Kund is a regular shape, but not Shamakunda, because those trees didn't want to be disturbed. So on another occasion, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami wanted that people should not use the waters of Radha Kund for daily use, because it's sacred water. It should not be used for daily household purposes. So he wanted to make a water facility by making a well. So they were digging the ground, and then as those people, they hit a stone and the stone started to bleed. And then Lord Krishna, Giriraj Maharaj, came in the dream of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami that this is my tongue So please don't, no. So this Shila, this stone, or not an ordinary stone, it is the Giriraj Govardhan, is basically Govardhan's tongue, and it's still worshipped near Radhakund. The Samadhi of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, who disappeared on the same day in different years, is also there. Raghunath Das Goswami Bhajan Kutir. Raghunath Das Goswami spent over 15 years at this place. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta and other holy literatures at this place at Radhakund. So Janava Mata's also holy places also there. So countless holy places are there on just these two, Radhakund and Shyamkund. So very, very, in multiple temples. When these deities were going from the Aurangzeb time, Mughals attacked, when the Radha Madan Mohan, Govind Dev and Gopinathji were going to Jaipur, they stopped at two places, one at Sri Radhakund and in Kamyavan. So their Pratibamba deities, Pratibamba replica deities are also present, and their temples are also present in Radhakund. So we were just reading that today, so thought to share this holy appearance of Sri Radhakund. So we can pray to Sri Radharani, we can pray to Radhakund, and so that we can get the mercy of Lord Damodar and mercy of Sri Radhakund, and mentally take bath in the holy waters of Sri Radhakund. And because as per Rupa Goswami and all our Goswami, there is no other holier place in any three worlds than Sri Radhakund.
Prabhu, I just want to share in this context your last. So in 11th verse of the Nectar of Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita, it says that in this world the best place is Mathura. In the Mathura Bhuvan, the best place is Vrindavan. In all over the Vrindavan, the best place is Govardhan. In all over the Govardhan, the best place is Radhakund. So it is the topmost place in this universe. So there was a nice story when Prabhupada was present, and I think 1976, after the Nectar of Instruction came. So many devotees, they wanted to stay in Radhakund. So I think one of the Maharaj, I think the Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Prabhupada that devotees wants to stay in Radhakund because you said this is the best place in the universe. Then Prabhupada began very angry. He said, how about the first verse, Bacho Vagon, Manusha Vagam? So I asked them to first follow that one, then last place. So as His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj, in his last speech in Ujjain, he was saying that Prabhupada didn't tell us to stay in Radhakund. He wants us to go and preach. But we can visit Radhakund, take shelter. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhu. That's wonderful. Okay, so we will wrap up here and continue tomorrow with the next verse. Shri Radha Kunda ki Jai Shivalashtami Divas ki Jai Shri Kartik Damodar Mas ki Jai Shri Radha Rani ki Jai Shri Radha Shyam Sundar ki Jai Shri Radha Damodar ki Jai Shri Shri Damodar ki Jai Grantaraj Bhagavatam Purani ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.